everyone, how are you doing today? Thank you for tuning in. Today I'm going to talk to you about how I was followed by a very creepy guy in a very suspiciously quiet train station in Istanbul. Yes, Istanbul again. I've had quite a few interesting experiences in Istanbul. So this was I made a round trip around Europe. So Istanbul was my first and last stop. So my flights were in and out of Istanbul. So this was my first few days of my trip. So I went around Istanbul, right? And then I was going to catch a train to Bucharest in Romania. If you guys saw my first video, my hostel was near the Blue Mosque, right? And the train station was under renovation at that time. So temporarily, they had to use an old train station on the outskirts of Istanbul. You might think outskirts can't be that bad, right? Because it's maybe a half an hour drive, whatever. But no, Istanbul is huge, okay? It's huge. The outskirts of Istanbul can stretch quite far, alright? So my train departed at 11:30 at night, right? So I left my hostel about, I can't remember, 7 or 8 p.m. because I didn't want to miss my train. I didn't know where it was exactly. So it's always safer to leave earlier, right? So I left about 7, 8 o'clock and I took a public transport, a public bus, and it was a pretty long drive. The bus, I think it was over an hour long bus ride to the train station, right? And I was still within Istanbul, okay? Over an hour's drive, I was still within Istanbul. So I sat on a bus, I look at everyone, look at all the locals. I love looking at the local people from everywhere. So in general, I like people watching, alright? And then the bus went on for quite a while, and then I got a bit worried because everything started looking industrialized. It was like factories and industrial areas around. I could just see trucks around, and there were barely any street lights. So I knew I was like right on the outside of the city. And then the bus stopped. I was the only one in the bus by then. And the driver told me that in Turkish, which I conveniently don't understand, but I could figure out why he was trying to say that this is the last stop, the bus won't move any further. And then he got off the bus. I got off the bus and asked him, do you know where the train station is? I showed him my ticket. He didn't know where the train station was, right? So this guy works in a bus company. He stops somewhere near where a train station is supposed to be, but he didn't know where it was. I was like, fine. And I did like choo, I tried to make impressions of trains, but he couldn't understand. Fine, it's okay. So I thought, I have to figure out a way on my own to get to the train station. As I went there, I was walking along a very quiet road, right? And I walked past a lot of warehouses and factories. By then it was close to 10 p.m. So it was really dark and cold. It was during winter, right? So it was quite cold. You know the feeling you get like you're being followed or watched? I had that feeling. Then I turned around. I couldn't see anyone. And I'm fine. I continued walking, carrying my backpack like a soldier. I continued walking and I heard like footsteps or when your shoe brushes against dried leaves. Then I turned around. I saw this guy walking in the shadows. It was like in a movie, some crazy serial killer walking in the shadows, following me. So I like, okay, shit. Nope, I'm not gonna die tonight. No way am I gonna let that happen. So I continued walking, increased my footstep, increased my pace. And then, by pure luck, I stumbled upon railway tracks next to the road. So I look at the tracks and I was like, oh my god, thank you so much. Angels who are looking over me, thank you for showing this. So I look at tracks and I was like, okay. I look on both ends of the track. Both looked like they were leading nowhere. Like you couldn't tell whether a train station would be on the left or the right. And this crazy guy was following me from my right. So I thought, you know what, fuck this. I'm just going to follow the track on the left and see where it leads me, right? because there's no way I'm going to turn right and walk straight into the cycle. So I followed the track, I walked really fast and carefully because I've seen videos and movies where people got their foot trapped in the railway track, and then you know what happened next. So I continued walking, and the guy kept following me. I don't know, maybe I was just hallucinating, right? Because he had so many chances to catch up with me and rob me or do whatever he wanted, but he kept a steady distance. So I don't know, maybe I was hallucinating that night. Maybe that's what happens when you're tired and lost. So I followed this train track, and guess what I saw? You are not going to believe. I saw platforms! Yes, I found a train station! After probably 40 minutes of walk, I don't know, aimlessly like a headless chicken, and I found a station, but it was all fenced up, so I still had to find a way to get into the station, right? Like it would be too dangerous to walk on the tracks and climb onto the platform. So I walked along the main road. There were lorries parked there with probably like long distance drivers. I felt a bit safer knowing that there were all these people around. And then I turned around, the crazy stalker guy was not there. Maybe it was just a ghost, you know. So I went to the train station. I took a bridge, like an overhead pedestrian bridge, into the station. I thought finally some civilization, right? But no, I was so wrong. I was the only person in the entire station. I'm not even exaggerating, okay? I walked down the entire length of the station, about 100 meters. There was no one anywhere on either side. I walked up, I walked down. I tried to look for the ticket office, which I couldn't find until I found it like hidden somewhere below the staircase. No, that was like, oh no, have I been ripped off? Because the tickets were quite pricey. I can't remember the exact price, but probably 30 euros onwards. Between 30 and 40 euros from Istanbul to Bucharest. So I walked closer to the ticketing office and I peeped in. There was a guy inside. So this wasn't some abandoned station and I wasn't ripped off in the end. So I showed the guy my ticket. Then he like, yeah, he nodded. He pointed the direction to my platform. So okay. So I knew I had a legit ticket. So after a while, like when it got closer to 11, more and more people started coming in. You know, when I say more and more, I'm not talking like entire colony of army or contingent of people coming in. It was like, at most there were 10 people there. That's what I meant by more, yeah. It's not a lot, yeah. So I spoke to one or two of them, and turns out I was the only one heading to Bucharest. The rest were heading to Sofia, which is in Bulgaria, alright? Yep, and being the only one traveling the train, you get a lot of interesting experience at border crossings. So yeah, so after a while I got into my train, got into my cabin, and I was off to Bucharest, Romania. So yes, that was my journey to the train station. I know it's not some crazy ass story, but yeah, I just wanted to share it with you guys. So thank you for watching, and I hope you liked it. Leave a like if you did, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care and goodbye.